Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the Master Grade Heavy Gundam. So yeah, once again, this was a premium Bandai exclusive kit, so not going to be very easily available for pretty much anyone at this point because it's already been released, and so now you, like I mentioned before, you have to go through some third-party seller or something to get this. But luckily, I was able to build this one up for sharing with you guys, thanks to my friend Alex. So thanks, Alex, again for letting me borrow this and snap it up and share it with the world. So let's have a look. It's a nice kit. Let me just give you my first initial thought. After I finished building the kit, I thought the building process of this kit seemed very familiar because it's very, very much like the premium Bandai Master Grade Power to GM, which I reviewed maybe about 2 months ago or so. That one actually was another kit that was loaned to me from Alex, so double thanks again for that one as well. Anyway, what makes this one similar to that one is that this is a premium Bandai kit, obviously, for one, and it's one that is, the base kit is a quite old kit actually, so I think that's something that I know a lot of people complained about with the Power GM, and I agreed about that. And this one as well, I really think that this would have been better as if it was based on like the Master Grade Gundam 2.0, but I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Anyway, just what reminded me of the Power GM is just that this kit is just a relatively simple build. A lot of the new parts have more detail, but the old parts are going to be pretty lacking in a lot of detail. The old parts that you can see on there, which you really can't see a whole lot. This kit is based off of the Master Grade Perfect Gundam. Again, if you didn't see the unboxing, that was actually a big surprise to me. I wasn't really sure what this kit was going to be based off of, just by going on the photos that we could see online. But from the unboxing, I found out that it was based on the Perfect Gundam, so it's quite unique, quite strange. And we actually do have a lot of leftover parts from that kit. Not like you can come anywhere close to building that kit, because it's a really quite extreme, like it's got a lot of parts to it. But we do have some leftover parts, which I will point out a few of the more notable ones here to you guys in just a bit. But yeah, this is a pretty cool design. I mean, there are certain aspects of the design that I like and that I don't like. One thing that I will say is kind of disappointing about this kit is that it's quite sticker heavy. I'll point those out to you guys all here in a minute, but basically it's a relatively simple Master Grade just because it's based on a pretty old kit from 2003. And so the articulation is not going to be anything like what we've got now. The part separation and all that is not going to be like the Master Grades we're used to nowadays. But I think this is a really nice looking kit when it's just kind of just standing there, and it's got a really good look to it, especially when we get its big, huge weapon added onto it. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Anyway, let's get a look at the articulation, and I'll also point out all these stickers here on this guy. So starting off here in the head, obviously you've got a blue sticker there for the camera on the front and the back. That's kind of nice because it's like the only little bit of blue on this, so it does kind of pop out there. And then for the sunglasses there, that was just a plain clear piece, and then we're sticking that gold foil piece over the top of that. And I actually don't really like how it looks like in the promo images of stuff, but now that I've actually built the kit, I think it does look a lot better. It does kind of really fit the design. It's a very MSV kind of style to this kit. Pretty interesting color though. I mean, speaking of MSV, it's definitely got that MSV color scheme going on. So the head is able to go up to about there. It's just on a single ball joint there, so nothing really too crazy in the neck articulation down to there. The shoulders, now the whole shoulder unit can come out like that, so you can see that whole part comes out, but then you're not really getting any extra articulation. You're getting a little bit more vertical articulation from that, but in terms of like moving the shoulder forward and back, it doesn't go anywhere. It's just like flat against there. So that's kind of unfortunate. Stickers here, that red stripe going across the top of the torso. Stickers here on the shoulders, 2 little ones there on the front and back on the shoulders there as well. But yeah, as you can see, if you pull that shoulder part out, the arm can go up to there. The screws that you saw, this kit does come with 2 screws. Those go in that shoulder joint in there. I actually don't have them in at the moment because I didn't have a screwdriver with me when I was putting this kit together. So you don't actually have to install them. I think this kit would hold together fine without the screws. If you're one of those people who just don't like using the screws on your kit, I don't know why you wouldn't. But in the arm here, we've got just about a 90-degree bend, basically. And here's where we get into some of the bad stickers, because like these red parts here on the side, if you look closely, you'll see the whole part is red, but then you've got this dark brown sticker that wraps around the outside of that red part there. So it looks okay, but not really the greatest. Here on the forearm, we got this kind of like hand guard part that will move a little bit, but not really too much. It's kind of nowhere really for it to go. The hands, we've just got the thumb on a ball joint, and then the fingers separated like old Master Grade style. 3 fingers, and the trigger finger separate like that. Wrist is just a ball joint. In the stomach, torso section, it's basically just going to rotate. You can sort of kind of bend it a teensy tiny little bit, but not really too much. That's really just kind of pulling it off the ball joint kind of and just making that loose. But if it's pressed fully down, you're really just only going to get some rotation there, and that's about it. Going around to the backpack, we have a little sticker here on the side of the backpack there. I mean, it's a pretty cool shaped backpack. I like the look of this backpack for sure. These thrusters here, these smaller ones, will move up and down like so. This main one will also move up and down for the thrusters. We have the beam saber handle here. We have the cannon on this side, which will move up and down. You kind of have to watch out for the V-fin there. You're going to move that out of the way. You can bring that cannon all the way straight forward if you want. Going back down to the skirts here, the front skirts are separate, of course, so those will move like that. You do have some detail underneath there, but it's not like a separate part or anything. You can paint that if you want. Side skirts will move up and down a little bit as well, but as you can see, those tend to fall off because there's not really too much space for them to move up. And the back skirt is just also going to move, but these are molded together, so those will just move together like that. As for the legs, these legs are plugged on just straight onto a polycap ball joint. So as you can see, it's the kind of hip joint where it's just static peg there. So the hip movement is not going to be too much. You're only going to be able to rotate the legs out to there, which I think it's enough rotation actually, to be honest. But in terms of getting the legs wide, you're only going to get them wide to about there, which again I think is not bad. It might be enough. We'll see when we get to posing the kit. Speaking of posing though, nowhere to actually connect an action base connection onto that. You just have to use the like fork action base to connect up into there. It should work fine, I think, just because this is just a really simple shape there. Then at the knees, we actually have a really nice bend, nice full bend there at the knee, but here you're seeing some of these other stickers. So 3 little stickers on there for those little red marks. But then here, this cap on the side of the knee is just all brown, and you're sticking this pretty haggard red sticker over the side of that. On the front of the knee, you've got 2 little red stickers there again. On the foot, 2 little red stickers there. On the back of the foot, 1 red sticker there. And then here on the caps on the ankles, so that's a red part with a brown sticker going around the side of that. So on the elbows, red piece, brown sticker. Knee, brown piece, red sticker. Ankles, red piece, brown sticker. Wrapping around that. So those are kind of the worst stickers there. The rest of this is just like these tiny little color apps, so those are fine. I mean, the stuff that you would just paint anyway, but those wraparound ones on the joint parts is kind of annoying. As for the ankles, they're going to move side to side just a little bit, forward to about there, back to about there, not a whole lot. It is a double ball joint there in that ankle mechanism. You can see there's some of that kind of frame there. This kit doesn't really have a full inner frame as you would normally know it to be, just as the older Master Grades didn't really have like the full inner frame that we're used to on modern kits nowadays. But anyway, for accessories, we do have 2 of these pink beam saber effect parts, but you only got 1 beam saber, so you only need 1 of them. The other one you can give to a different kit if you want. And then we've got its main weapon here. So this is a pretty cool thing. Very big. Got some missiles in there. Got this chain gun here on the bottom. Stickers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then same on the other side as well. And then we've got stickers there just for the red circles there for the missiles. That part is just all molded in gray. So again, just pretty simple little small little color app stickers. Here on the back, these will open up. That's really the only point of articulation on this. There's kind of like things to cover this kind of vents at the back. These do also serve a different purpose though, because if you see in here, there's this gray part on the inside. Now what connects this is the arm, because the arm just slides into there no problem and it's just kind of loose. But then this gray part actually latches to the back of the elbow. So you need to put that down so it's out of the way to get the arm in, but then once the arm is in, when you press this piece here, you can see that pops that back up, and then you're able to lock that to the back of the elbow nicely. So let me just try to show you here in action. Slides onto the arm, no problem there. And I realize it's quite dark in there, so you guys probably aren't going to be able to see this. But again, when I just press that like that, it pops out that gray piece enough for me to just catch it with my fingernail, pull it out the rest of the way to lock that to the elbow, and then the gun is on there nice and securely. Now, as I said, we do have a whole lot of extra parts that's left over from this, and it's just a lot of parts from the Perfect Gundam. And a lot of the parts are not really all that useful. You got some parts for the arms and legs, but some of the more useful parts is, we do have the beam saber handles. We have 2 of these, and like I said, we do have 1 extra beam saber effect part, so you can have a full extra beam saber. Then we have almost a full Gundam shield. As you can see, the front, everything's there, but it's just missing the mechanical part for the back. So you'll have to maybe get that from another scrap kit, or you'll have to just make your own connection piece or something. But anyway, you have almost a full extra Gundam shield here, which is nice. Now, I suppose probably what a lot of you are going to be wondering is, can it actually hold up that giant weapon? And as you can see here, it pretty much can. I mean, just because I think it's due to a couple reasons. First of all, the weapon is very large, but it's very hollow. There's really only a few parts included with that, so it's not really all that heavy. So I think that definitely helps. The other thing is that just because this is a pretty older kit, and this is why I think it maybe is good that they didn't use the Gundam 2.0 kit, because these older kits, the frame is simpler, and I think that makes the frame a little bit more rigid, or just the joints a little bit more rigid, because you have less parts moving around. I think when you have more and more parts packed into that space, you have a lot more points where the frame could essentially become weaker. Here, we really only have a few parts. I mean, the joints in the arms there are relatively simple, and they seem strong enough that they can hold it up just fine. I mean, I wouldn't really trust it to be able to hold this up forever. I think probably if you had this set on your shelf, that arm would eventually start to sag down, and then you just lose tension over time. But just if you're going to be painting the kit, or even if you just go over the joints with some like clear nail polish or whatever, do that whole trick, or however you want to strengthen up the joint, you could do that to just make sure that it's going to be nice and strong. Or, I mean, you could just do the thing where you just pick one pose that you want to keep it in forever, and then just glue the joint or pin the joint or something like that. But anyway, the point is, it is pretty much able to hold up that huge weapon without too much of a problem. When you've got that big huge weapon though, I really don't think probably anyone's really going to care too much about posing this with the beam saber, but I figured I might as well just show it to you guys either way. I do think that it's nice that it does have some other sort of weapon. I mean, I think if it only just had that big huge thing, then I would probably say something like, oh, it really only has this one weapon. I really wish they had some other weapon as well. So I know myself well enough to know that I would complain if it only just had that big huge gun, which is really honestly the only thing that it needs. But in this case, it does have the beam saber as well, so it does have that option if that's something you wanted to go for. One thing that I will complain about this kit is just, or not complain about, but just point out to you guys the fact that there are going to be a lot of seam lines on this kit. Like I said, it's based on an older kit, and as Bandai does when they make premium Bandai stuff, the new parts that they make for premium Bandai kits are not like the best engineered stuff. They're usually relatively simple in their design, so the same holds true with this. Pretty much all the new parts here, if there's an area where there's going to be a seam, just expect there to be a seam. Like on the weapon, there's some seam lines on there. The cannon for the backpack, there's a seam on there. All pretty expected places. Seams on the arm, the new forearm parts like that. So the legs are pretty much fine. The feet, obviously, no seam lines there. But just keep in mind that although this is a master grade, which most newer master grades don't really have much in the way of seams, this kit is based on an older kit, and it's a premium Bandai kit, so it is going to have some seam lines on there you will have to remove. So just getting back to comparing this to the P-Bandai Master Grade Powered GM, what I think this kit does really well is that it looks really good just standing there like this, just as you're seeing it now. And to be honest, that's really all I care. No, I guess not all I care, but I'm fine with it just looking good, just standing there. Because for a P-Bandai kit, you know, you're paying more, they're a little bit harder to get, and kind of you're buying it because it's a design that you really like, and you don't want to be bothered having to scratch build it yourself. So, you know, I'm someone who really loves a kit that can do some really awesome dynamic posing, but, you know, if it's just a really cool, like intimidating design that I like this, I think just standing like this, looking really cool, is that's enough for me. So I think that definitely makes this kit worthwhile. This kit is also just great for people who are fans of like old MSV designs, because this definitely has that look. It definitely has the look in terms of the colors and the design, everything. It just really screams like the style of that MSV, and if you're someone like me who likes that style, then that is going to be another appealing point of this kit. And another thing that I should absolutely be sure to show you guys again here is the waterslide decal sheet that comes with this kit. This waterslide decal sheet is absolutely amazing. I love this. So many great markings on here, and aside from just the normal waterslide decals, just for the standard caution markings and things like that, all these markings there for like the white dingoes and the Albion and all this stuff going on there. It's just so many awesome waterslide decals you get with this kit, so that is really cool. So with that, that's pretty much going to wrap up my review of this kit here for you guys. If you do have any other extra other comments or questions, of course, leave those down below. This was a really interesting kit to build. I always love checking out some of the more exclusive stuff. So again, thanks Alex for letting me build this up and share that with you guys here on YouTube. And just thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.